What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with my three favorite prize picks for this Monday night football game. And if it doesn't sound like I'm excited, maybe it's because we got the Bears visiting Foxborough for the Patriots. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell as we get going. Goes a long way for us over here at the channel. Goes a long way for you. You become a prize whenever great betting content is going live here at Odd Chopper. Guys, some of these primetime games, and we got a treat last Thursday. I feel like that was trying to make up for a lot of the ridiculousness this whole season. I mean, these primetime slates, I want to give you guys the picks. I want to give you guys winners. Use promo code Stokastic. Get $100 first match deposit bonus. That's one way I can guarantee you guys $100, but we went 2 for 3 on Sunday main slate. Last night was just another abysmal, terrible football game. And I've been doing a pretty good job of slamming some unders in some spots. But to correlate some picks, you do want to try to find a shootout or two. And this is just another one where I feel like I'm just forcing a lot of these plays. But we got to do what we got to do here. I want to get you guys winners. That all being said, I think these are 3 pretty good plays. Let's get to them, shall we? Now I'm happy because I am positive we're on to another day. We're going to 5X our money. Yay. And that makes up for 4 losing slates. That's what it would be. I like how I slammed unders on Thursday night, too. Arizona and New Orleans put up infinity points. Andy Dalton threw infinity interceptions. Pretty sure I said under 0.5 interceptions. You know what? Regardless, this is a forward-thinking, forward-looking program we have going right now. Let's get to it. My first play. And this is just historically what happens. We got Ramondre Stevenson, who played awesome last week, but there was no Damien Harris, and Damien Harris is back. You know what that means when he practices in full? More than 50.5 rushing yards. I had a lot of people, more than I would expect, DM me, ask me, Eric, what do I trade for Ramondre Stevenson? Should I trade CeeDee Lamb for Ramondre Stevenson? I lost my mind. I could not believe the ridiculousness that people came up with. Damien Harris, this is a timeshare when he's healthy. And we've seen a lot of running back injuries. And sometimes maybe you'll make a stupid trade and things will break your way. But I got to say, Damien Harris, more than 50.5 rushing yards. It's basically a pure split. We're talking Ramondre last week smashing by himself. When they're both active, they're going to split carries. If you go through the box score every single time, 40% of the offensive snaps week 1, 40% of the snaps week 2, 40% week 3, 45% week 4, down to 10% in week 5 when he got injured. So there you go. He's going to play right around 40, 45% of the snaps. Ramondre is going to play 50, 55% of the snaps, maybe 60 if they really like him. But that gives you a ton of opportunity for Damien Harris. And I think while Ramondre's number is pretty efficient, Damien, this is a team in the Bears giving up 163 yards per game on the ground. If you just cut that in half, just cut it right down the middle. It's not like Bill Belichick's going to go out there and try to have Mac Jones throw it all over the lot coming off of a high ankle sprain. But cutting that in half, 81.5 rushing yards. Give, 5 more to Ramondre. Give 5 less to Damien. This is an absolute smash play. Over 60 yards is what I'm projecting him for. I'm looking at Stokastic right now. We have a projected for 63 rushing yards. I think it could be even up. So 50.5 for a perfectly healthy Damien Harris against this putrid rush defense for the Chicago Bears. He has got to do it. So we're going to do it. That's play number 1. Let's keep it on moving, shall we? I am moving over to receiving yards for 1 David Montgomery. I got to give you a play on the other side. And this one's actually treated us well. I know we've had a couple of primetime spots. He didn't get targeted in one of the games. Let me pull up the box score just to double check. But I know he's had 13 and 62 receiving yards now, his last 2. Just 1 target there against Washington. That game was actually pretty close. 7-2 they lost.
He had 1, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I thought, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. How crazy is that? There I am. I played his long shot odds. Wait, did he have the second one?
Pretty sure he scored. Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah, Mostert scored one.
Right. And that was all they got.
Yeah, the game was, it seemed like it was higher scoring than it was. There's like
you're right. That was all he got.
Yeah.
I thought he was targeted though.
He definitely made a couple plays. That's why I thought. I kind of like.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe he got tackled near the end zone or something.
Welcome. Happy end of week 7. And no better way to put a bow on this week than the Bears and the Patriots, Monday Night Football. So we appreciate you hanging. It's just another opportunity to make money. All right. Yes, it's a dog shit game on the slate, but that doesn't mean you can't come out there and make some coins, stack up a couple of pieces of paper as a result here at No House Advantage. We have a promo code, Stokastic. It's easy. It's simple. It's the name of the site. We'll match your first deposit up to $50. It's super simple. Geoff is in the house, and I've got mixed emotions with you, my friend. All right. Let me get something out of the way. Those who are hanging, thumbs up, subscribe. Tell everybody else as they come in. And this is where I'll transition back to my mixed emotions with Geoff, is because I'll remind the community to remind new people as they come in. Hey, thumbs up. Just a communal thing that goes on here. So we do this show twice a week, Geoff, and we do this every Monday. And you, much more than me, but we both truly enjoy not only watching, but betting and playing the game of golf. And you do a ton for us, Stokastic and Odd Shopper, when it comes to the world of golf. Last week, we spoke about Aaron Wise and how Wise was on your list like it was for me, like it was for Raza. At no point did you mention Kurt Kitayama. At no point did you mention that you were on the winner of last week's CJ. At no point.
No, he did. He didn't win. He didn't win, first of all.
Oh, no? I thought he...
No.
Oh,
no, Rory won.
Yes.
It was close, though. So you didn't miss the winner.
But I thought you had a top
close.
10 and everything else. Didn't you build with him?
Yeah. Yeah, he was very profitable. I had him top 5 and stuff like that.
There you go. Top 5.
So I do apologize. I mean, I put him out on Twitter. I think I mentioned him during the show, but maybe Ben tuned out.
Yes.
I don't know.
He tunes out of everything unless he says it.
I definitely threw him up on my Twitter though. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's the fall. So my golf content, I don't get it out as much. You know, there's too much else going on, but I should have made a bigger deal of it. I did like him. He was good, big odds. It's a shame he didn't get it done, but anyways.
Top 5 is a hell of a hit, my friend. And
yeah, it's still a good week. I'm not complaining about that.
Absolutely. I'm definitely, and that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not upset. I'm just saying that, you got to share the wealth of information that you have, especially in the game of golf. So let's take that. A top 5 Kitayama is like smashing an NHA slate. So we've got Monday Night Football. I don't even, honestly, a lot of times we say this and I don't even know where to begin because we have this huge slate of football games, or we have a decent Thursday night, or there's at least one angle or maybe even one player, Geoff, that we can point to and say, all right, yeah, it's a dog shit Thursday night game, but at least we have Kyler Murray. At least we have this player. Man, we are earning a paycheck today. Let me just say that. And there's always an opportunity, but my God, this game might be worse than the field at Bermuda.
So, yeah, well, that's saying a lot. Oh, my God. Golf, I'm just happy to be talking about something other than the Bermuda Championship right now. Trust me. Look, if there's one player who's going to save this game, it's going to be Justin Fields, in my opinion, because there's two scenarios in this game. Either the Patriots DST sacks Justin Fields into next week and legitimately injures him, and that is a legit outcome. I'm actually worried that Justin Fields doesn't survive this game. The other option is the Bears give him just a minute, tiny bit of protection, and he moves around with his legs and he gets out of the blitz because the Patriots are going to blitz a ton. They always do, but they have been this year. And he moves the ball a ton with his legs again. And he makes some plays to Darnell Mooney, who is in a winnable matchup against the secondary that's not that good. Those are the two outcomes of this game. And if the first outcome comes, it's going to be a terrible game. And the Bears are going to get 90 yards offense. And you'll probably see whoever the backup is. I don't even know. And if it's the second one, though, it could be interesting. So I think you got to start with Justin Fields. I know I think it's 181.5 is his
It
passing
is
prop.
181.5. No
now look.
rushing, which is a great prop to play, but no rushing. And then you have
no
the half
rushing, yeah.
touchdown and the half interception.
Now look, this is a massive prop for Justin Fields. We have this as a smash under. What's that?
I'm sorry. What was the massive prop? The 181?
The 181. Yeah.
Okay.
For Fields, it's massive. It's not like for an average NFL quarterback. For a normal NFL team, this would be small. But it's Justin Fields and the Bears 1921 offense we're talking about. So it's really big. And we have this projected as a strong under. I mean, like the Fields, just what we have Fields projected as, for the week, it's well under this. I can tell you this. And I think that when you're building pick'em contests on no advantage, you want to get crazy. I mean, I don't even think it's crazy. I just think that taking Fields over with Darnell Mooney, I just don't think many people are going to get there. And if you hit on Fields going over his passing prop, you can be guaranteed he's dragging Darnell Mooney over because he's got a 28% team target share. And realistically, like maybe he hits like Pettis for like a 40-yard gain, but the yards are coming from Mooney. So Mooney's prop is up there too. I think it's at 57.5.
It is correct.
Yeah. So no one's going over on these props is my point. We all know that they're too big. They're way bigger than the industry standard. But if the Bears are going to make a game of this, I mean, Fields is probably going over this mark, and so is Mooney. I'm more bullish on Mooney of the two, but again, I think they pair together pretty well. So,
yeah, I think we always focus on this narrative. And look, most narratives, some narratives, whatever the math is, are built from truth, right? It's not like it's just it's not like, Skip Bayless just pulling shit out of his ear. And I do think that Bill Belichick has established a resume, at least a pattern of being able from a defensive side to take out an opposing team's best player or best method of moving the football down the field. So, Geoff, to your point, it would stand to reason that both Chicago Bears running backs are going to be the top target, right? The run game is going to be the top target. And even to a lesser extent, Justin Fields when he starts to move. So with that said, great matchup already with Mooney. And on top of that, he's not going to be the focus of the Patriots defense. Just getting, and again, like getting to 182 and 58, Fields in the air, Mooney receiving respectively, can be done with dink and dunk. Like with a full game's worth of short passes, Mooney breaks one or two. I'm with you, man. I don't even think it's that crazy, as you said. Like it's a contrarian play to the field, but when you talk it out, it really doesn't feel that way.
I mean, look at the Patriots. Again, they blitz a lot. That leaves men in single coverage, which look at what they've done against wide receivers. Every single week, we've had a wide receiver go for 57 yards or more against the Patriots. Most weeks, it's actually been like 70 yards or more. At least one wide receiver. If a wide receiver on the Bears is going for over 50 yards, there's about a 95% chance it's Darnell Mooney. Like his target share is there. He's going to get the targets. Last week, Amari Cooper, 44 and a touchdown. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 74 yards. Like, the week before, Josh Reynolds, 92 yards. Like it can be done. Lazard went for 100 yards against this defense. So again, like I'm actually bullish on Mooney. I think Mooney is a good contrarian play for a high up. Maybe you're risking too much by putting Fields with him because again, like if Mooney goes for 70 yards, like Fields could still go for like 140 passing. Like that is realistic to happen. So I think if you're going to go contrarian on one, I would go Mooney and I would put him higher up and then, maybe take some chalk down the board or whatever. But I think Mooney is a good one to be contrarian on.
Real quick, for those wondering about Mooney, he does have a receptions prop and it's not high by any means. Just to show you what it is here, it is 4.5. Yep. I'm hesitant to say this because it's only 5, but 5 is a big number, as you know, in just getting receptions. I feel like Mooney can get 58 receiving yards before the Patriots adjust, as opposed to getting 5 receptions before they adjust. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially just with his ADOT. I mean, he's getting down, like when he does get targeted, his ADOT's not bad. Air yards aren't bad. I agree. Like, we could just get 2 long passes, get most of our yards. And then, like you said, the Patriots kind of make an adjustment. They pull off the blitz a bit. So yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. I again, definitely more bullish on Mooney getting there versus Fields. If I was going to pick one of the two, you could pair them, but yeah, I think this is a spot where if, like you said, the Patriots come out, they do their blitzing, Mooney gets a couple. I mean, there's even scenarios where Mooney just dominates this game. Like, I mean, in the Patriots maybe don't adjust, because if you stop, if you start dropping back, that's when Justin Fields starts to eat you up with his legs. So yeah, I don't want to get too bullish on Chicago, but I do think one of these guys is like going to have an okay game. So,
all right, let's look before we switch over to the Patriots and kind of look at any of the other plays there. You've got Cole Kmet, Dante Pettis, and St. Brown, right? Yeah. Like those are the three. We'll end with David Montgomery and his prop, because it's only one. It's a rushing prop, and that might, depending on where you're going with Mooney, it's going to either correlate or counter. But I mean, St. Brown, 1.5 receptions, same as Pettis. Cole Kmet is 2.5. I don't know. I mean, I'd be tempted maybe to go under 2.5 for Kmet, but even, I don't know, 1.5 for Pettis.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have to play this. That's the beauty.
No, I mean, it's just, they're just so ridiculously low. I mean, it's crazy how low the Bears props are, just outside, even like with Mooney. But yeah, Pettis is up to 60% snap share. I think that like St. Brown is, I thought maybe he was going to catch on as like the clear number 2, but his snap count's gone down. Routes have gone down. He's clearly like just kind of going out there and running downfield, and maybe he gets like a 30-yard catch or something. But I think if you're going to take a shot with someone, I agree, it's Pettis who could show up with like 2 catches here. And I mean, Cole Kmet is just dead to me. He's on the field a ton. He's not earning any targets. He's running routes, but he's not doing anything with it. So he also just, I think honestly, he's just not good football. So no. Dante Pettis can get open. He's got a little bit of the stone hand thing going, but we may get 3 targets, 2.5 targets here, and that's all we need. So yeah, that's an interesting one. I agree. If there's anyone that I wouldn't go under on, it would probably be Pettis. Either leave him out or go over. The other guys, I'd probably be okay fading, to be honest.
Right. 61.5 for Montgomery. It's a low number for him. We have seen teams run on the Patriots.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of game flow. And I just don't know. I mean, this game could be 13-0 in the blink of an eye. And if you're down 20-3 at the half, you're still going to have Montgomery on the field. Chicago still has to run him to some extent, Geoff, but maybe all of a sudden you are sweating now 61.5 against a bad rushing defense simply because the offense is getting lapped.
Yeah. And I mean, like you look at Montgomery, he got there last week, 15 carries, 67 yards. And I say this about him every time he pops up. It does feel like we've talked about the Bears a couple times now. I guess they were on, primetime last
Thursday,
week too.
Right?
Thursday, yeah. But like he's not going to get you there. Like he's not going to break off chunks. Like if he gets 8 carries, you're not getting there. You're not even coming close. He needs volume, and he needed the full 15 carries basically to hit this last game. Maybe the run you could argue that like the defense is a little bit weaker here, but like with Fields as the quarterback, I hate taking Montgomery props. He's had one good game, and the game against the Packers was just weird where they were down big. They were getting like almost garbage time rush yards. Every other game he's been stifled or he just barely got there.
Yep. So
we have this projected pretty neutral, like maybe even a slight under. That's where I would go. I mean, I think it's okay. I think it's also okay to leave Montgomery out. I mean, I just don't like, obviously there's scenarios where he gets there, but like the Bears being ahead in this game is like the very least likely scenario of this, like late in the game, obviously. So in that scenario, maybe like their defense has picked off Mac Jones a couple times, maybe special teams are like a big play to Mooney, and then the Patriots just can't move the ball. And then maybe Montgomery's getting some late game big carries, but man, that's like, if you're wishing for that, like go buy a lottery ticket as well. So I'm okay leaving him out. I'm okay taking like an under as like a low point play, but it's just not really a strong lean either way. He's going to be on the field, like you said. I think I'd rather look at Herbert's props, which I don't have his rushing prop in front of me, but
he's not on here.
Okay, yeah, that's well,
Yeah,
there you
right,
go.
and-
that's why I don't have it in front of me.
Right.
So.
Herbert's not on there, nor is Ramondre Stevenson. So
Yes.
you have Damien Harris on the other side. And I think much like what you mentioned with Montgomery, it's probably even stronger for me where I'm staying away from this prop. Clearly in garbage time, you can make a point, but Damien Harris is just coming back from injury. And on top of that, Ramondre Stevenson is fine. Like you can bell cow him and be fine and not have to force Damien Harris, especially coming back from injury. So it's a low number, Geoff, at 48.5. But again, in a shitty game already, this is in my corner of don't play it. Like I'm passing on Damien Harris.
Yeah.
Unless you see a pathway that I missed, I'll gladly tail.
Well, no, I mean, like there's the pathway is we just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, like he's healthy and he's been practicing and they haven't even confirmed that he's playing, but he's going to play, you know,
right.
It's the Patriots, right? So he'll just show up and be like, oh yeah, okay.
We agree that,
yeah. But
it's the Patriots.
But Stevenson has been good. And, you know, we could go back to a timeshare. We could go back to Damian Williams getting 5 touches a game now because Stevenson is the lead back. We could go back to Harris getting the bulk of the carries. I have no idea what Bill Belichick's going to do. So like you can almost play either one of these. Like I guess one way I would look at Damien Harris is if you had like 10 lineups, you could just play both sides on like equal lineups because it's almost like a coin flip, like of what's going to happen here. If Harris gets like splits carries again, he'll probably get there because this is a pretty low prop, you know, just based on the efficiency of the Patriots run offense and who they're going against. But if the carries aren't there, there's still a lot of ways for Harris not to get there. Right. So we have this projected, like we have Harris projected for like 60 yards with Stevenson, but that is, I think, taking into account that he's just going back into his old role, which I personally don't think we can count on here. It's fine to leave it off. I would probably play it. It's more of like, again, it's a good one for a low point play. Again, we're talking about no house advantage. You got to cross the board. You're assigning values. You don't have to play this in like a 5. You play this as like your 1 spot and maybe think like taking over and play it with like a Patriots domination stack, or you take it as an under and like, you know, when maybe you have like Mooney going for a big game or something on the other side, which makes sense to me. So I think playing it like that is okay. But otherwise, yeah, it's not one I feel strongly about for a simple fact. I have no idea what Belichick's going to do with these guys.
No. And that alone is too much here. So let's look. We also have Hunter Henry, Devontae Parker, and Jacoby Myers as far as the receiving end of it. It's pretty much 2.5 across the board for Parker and Henry, pardon me. And then you get Myers at 4.5 receptions. So before we close out with Mac Jones, you've got 3 guys there. Your receiving yards a little different, 32.5 for Henry, 43.5, pardon me, for Parker. And then Myers gets bumped up. Like Myers is going to be the guy with the big numbers at 4.5 receptions and 63.5 receiving yards.
Yeah. I like Myers. Man, like, yeah, I mean, Myers to go over 4.5, I think is actually pretty reasonable. It is a big number in a game like this.
Yep.
But, you know, Mac Jones coming back. What do we see the first 2 games? He completed, you know, 13 passes to Jacoby Myers, and we've got a pretty weak secondary here. Myers is still like the focal point. He doesn't have a massive team target share, which kind of bugs me for a possession receiver, but like Devontae Parker is so up and down. And this is what worries me though about Parker is that this is the kind of matchup where I would kind of expect him to pop up. He's got a little bit weaker outside corners. And he went, you know, 4 for 64. He was okay with Zappy. He didn't do much with Mac Jones though, to be honest, outside of that, obviously the Baltimore game. But yeah, I mean, I could get to a point where I could almost see overs on both these guys. I mean, you don't have to do that. And it's not necessarily like projecting as the strongest plays, but if I was going to go over on one, I'd probably take the receptions over on Jacoby Myers. We haven't projected for a lot of targets, just in terms of our straight up DFS projections this week. And Parker is, you know, I think his yardage prop is gettable, but I think he's also far more volatile. And if you want to just, you know, leave Parker out or even take an under on him and maybe like mix in like the Damien Harris over or something, I think that's a strong play too, because there's scenarios where Parker gets like 2 or 3 targets and just runs like a decoy, like he has in like 2 or 3 games already this year. So, yeah, Patriots pass game Myers has really been the only constant. Everyone else is just kind of, out there.
It's so true. Now, with that said, Mac Jones is out here as far as the playable quarterback. He is expected to start, as we know here at the time in which we're doing this live show, 3:23 in the afternoon on the East Coast. So he is going to play through this ankle injury. It's just a matter of how much you trust. And, 182.5 passing yards, 1.5 passing touchdowns, and then the half interception.
Yeah. A couple things, Mac. I mean, the Mac Jones props are interesting. I think that the interception prop for Mac Jones will be lower owned. And I think that's interesting. I think a lot of people play the Justin Fields interception prop, but again, like we're looking for edges across the field, things people will be lower owned on. We have Mac Jones projected for almost a full INT today or this week. So, I mean, like that alone is kind of interesting. Yep. He's a little bit hobbled, right? And like for the Bears deficiencies, their secondary has been better this year. They've actually produced like almost an interception per game. So again, something to think about just from a contrarian standpoint. Mac Jones, INT, I don't think many people are looking at it. I will say this. I also don't mind Mac Jones over on his passing prop. I mean, this is incredibly low. Like, I mean, the Patriots want to run the ball. They'll probably try and maybe limit Mac Jones a little bit. But I mean, if he's out there starting, like, I don't, he's going to be throwing the ball against a weaker defense. Like 182.5, it's really low. If you said to me, I'm just going to start with Mac Jones over and Justin Fields under, I think that's completely reasonable. And then you try and get a little bit different elsewhere, like maybe throw a Mooney over in, or like a Mac Jones INT with his over prop. It just, those two passing props on Fields and Mac Jones seem like the most obvious plays to me. And maybe it seems too obvious, but I really do think like Jones over is fine and Fields under is fine to kind of start with. Those would probably be the two that I, again, would kind of lean on here just in terms of like building around. I know it's going to be, it's an ugly game, but those ones feel like the kind of the best plays of our projections right now.
Awesome, brother. Anything else that we missed on our way out? I'm with you, man.
Like, I mean, we don't have a Stevenson prop, we obviously, he's going to be whatever. It is what it is.
True. Very true. And not having a field rushing prop. Some things that, they're not going to force me into playing Damien Harris. I can tell you that. All right. So we're
not going to get you there.
We appreciate everybody rolling with us. Stay right here as Terry and EMAC have you covered for the NBA, NHA side. Mike, appreciate you producing. Thanks to you all out there. Thumbs up, subscribe. Thanks to Geoff as well at the Fantasy Grind, of course, on Twitter, where you'll get all of the plays each week in golf.
Good plays. Yeah, that's where they are. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on,
I'm not on Twitter enough. I hate Twitter. But I'm there. I have to be there. So.
I'm the same way.
Now I'm going to be on there mining. All right. See you, brother.
See ya.